Bye, Julia.
Bye,
Dropped her off at the
Julia.
airport.
Yeah.
She's leaving forever.
Forever is a few weeks.
Yeah, that's too long. Why are you leaving?
That's true. Unfortunately.
You should say.
Duty calls.
Why?
It does. I don't know.
There's a toilet at the apartment. You can answer the duty.
No. Okay.
All right, give Fred a goodbye kiss.
Where does one kiss a animal car is?
I think
On
his
the
mouth is
tentacles?
down there. All right, bye, Eddie. I love you.
Bye, yeah, me too.
Shortly after Julia left, my friend Alex arrived. He lives in California, so we don't get to see each other too often. So we immediately went to a great local restaurant, tried out all the local seafood, and caught up. After our feast, we did the normal chores that I do while in cities on my break days. I haven't gone over them yet, but they're pretty simple. Just basically cleaning the car inside and out and doing laundry, as well as getting food for the next leg of the trip, and resolving any lodging or other issues that I haven't already. Afterwards, we went into the city. We only had a little over an hour, so we didn't get to see too much, but we did get to see the Space Needle and the Japanese gardens nearby. Seattle was awesome. We both absolutely loved our time there and will need to come back, but I was pretty tired and things were already starting to close and the sun was starting to go down. So we decided to go back so I could catch up on sleep and be well rested for another long day of adventuring tomorrow.
Good morning. I'm on the Puget Sound. My first glimpses of the Pacific Ocean, even though this is like an inland bay. Me and Alex are on the way to Olympic National Park. He's in the bathroom right now. Classic Alex move. Yeah, we got about 49,000 miles on the car this morning, and yeah, should do some hiking later. We're still about 2 hours out. It's kind of a further drive. Well, I think there's supposed to be traffic because it was like 45 minutes less driving when I checked last night. But should be getting there. Very beautiful. It smells like the ocean. We are entering Olympic National Park. That is National Park number 8 for the trip. Very exciting. We're gonna go see a rainforest. Nice.
Our hike for the day was Mount Storm King. The way up was pretty steep switchbacks, but nothing too difficult most of the way. We walked through some beautiful forest with massive trees, some covered in beautiful moss. About halfway up, we got our first overlook, which gave beautiful views of both the ocean and the crystal clear lake below us. The way up continued to be pretty easygoing until we got to a knife edge. Here it got precarious. There were a lot of people and not really any room to get around people, so it kind of was like you had to wait for people to stop coming from one direction before you go and just hope you don't hit them. This only got worse as we continued and got to the rope section of the trail. Similarly, it was very narrow and you could only go up or down at one time, but here they needed the ropes for a reason. It was really steep, and if you fell, you had a chance of just kind of sliding off the mountain. We did manage to get to the top, but that didn't really feel too safe up there as it was super crowded, and we kind of had to dangle our feet off the side just to get somewhere to sit down. Normally we would have done our summit beers here, but because we knew the way down was so treacherous, we decided to save them. And after just a very short amount of time at the top to get some nice pictures, we headed down. The way down took forever. We were stuck behind a group of people who had no business being up there, and it took them almost 45 minutes to get down the rope section. Just for comparison, it took us about 15 minutes to get up it. But we did manage to get down eventually and went to the original overlook, and that's where we enjoyed our summit beers. Honestly, if anyone watching this ever decides to do this trail, me and Alex agreed after we finished it that it's not worth going up the rope section. The view at the top's really not that much better than the view you get halfway up. So just stop there, turn around, save yourself the issue, because the rope section is pretty dangerous, at least when it's really crowded, and this is a very popular trail. So if you're going on the weekend and the weather's nice, chances are it's going to be crowded. On our way down, we decided to take a slight detour to see this beautiful waterfall, as well as stop by the lake. It had the most blue water either of us had ever seen. It was gorgeous. Afterwards, we drove a short bit to where we were camping for the evening, had some food, and hit the hay for another great day. Forgot to record an intro for this day, but me and Alex went to the whole rainforest and then went to check out the Olympic coast. We started with a nice 6-mile hike through the whole rainforest. We both absolutely loved it. The place was super beautiful with so many moss-covered trees that were just massive in size. The trail itself was pretty easy and flat. Everything in the forest was green. The underbrush was thick, and it had a strong, dark canopy hanging above. We ended our hike at this beautiful, clear river that flowed through the forest. Afterwards, we headed back, had a quick lunch, and then headed to the beach. All right, gonna go stick my toe in the ocean, in the Pacific Ocean. Officially gone coast to coast. Pretty chilly. Oh, that's cool. I'm coming back. Alex, turn around and say hi. Yeah. Anyway, this is Alex. As you probably noticed from the last couple days where the stop, he's joined me for the week. I just realized we forgot to make an introduction thing. So, Alex, I guess you want to say hi, tell a little bit about yourself.
Hey guys, I'm Patrick's Brent from Cornell. I graduated a couple years ahead of him, but we've been looking forward to this trip for a long time. Glad we can do it.
We explored 3 different beaches in total, all of them part of the national park. The rugged rocky coastline reminded me a lot of Maine, and we had a great time climbing all over the rocks and exploring the tide pools, seeing all kinds of really cool sea life. My favorite were these super green sea anemones that covered everything. After exploring all the beaches, we called it a day. We had a great time, but we were still kind of tired from yesterday, so it took it a little bit easier today than we normally would. So we went back to camp and hit the hay.
All right, good morning. Me and Alex are at a trailhead. He's actually outside. He's on the phone with his dad. I forgot to do this this morning. We're doing the Angeles Lake Trail. We're at about 5,360 miles. I'm pretty sure I forgot to do this for the last couple days. So this represents, 8 hours worth of driving since the last time I checked in, I think. But nice and early in the morning, about 8 o'clock. We're going to do about an 8-mile, 3,000 feet round trip hike. Should be pretty nice.
The trail was your standard Pacific Northwest fare. Nice gradual switchbacks through beautiful forest. The whole shebang. I've said it probably a couple times at this point the last few days. But, they really are beautiful. This one was interesting, though, because we saw tons of little frogs. There's one in this picture. It's very well blended in. They were all about the same size, and we think they were the same species, though they came in a variety of colors. All of them well suited to the backgrounds in which they were found, be they light or dark browns or a varying shade of green. We got to the top relatively quick, despite the fact that it was a 4.5-mile trip. The trail was nice and easy, at least easier than the ones we did the last couple days, and we were well rested from taking it easy yesterday. The lake was beautiful, though it was a little crowded. We found a nice little side trail that took us across this natural log dam that formed in the lake. On the other side, there were a lot less people. Really, it was just us and one other group. We climbed atop a rock that gave the best views of the lake and sat for over an hour, enjoying our summit beers and just chatting and taking in the view. We still had time the rest of the day, so I decided to drive to Port Angeles, the nearest town, and go on a little sandy hook that sticks out that gave some great views of the mountain.
All right, here's Alex coming back. We're at Port Angeles, which is basically the farthest north you can get on the west coast. There's ocean behind me. I'm like on a sandbar thing, which you can't really see it super well. And on the other side is Canada. All right, we're at our cabin for the night, which is that little guy up there. Got a nice warm shower, nice cozy little cabin. And then take a look at the location. You can get it, Alex. You don't have to run away. But take a look at the location, right on the beach. Alex, I'm going your way. You should say cheese. There's Alex. We're very, very happy about this. We get a shower and probably one of the best locations we've had so far. Pretty nice. Go for it, Alex. Don't fall. Watch that. Those waves are going to swamp your shoes. How is it?
It's chilly.
I figured. It's been chilly all week. Yeah, careful where you're standing though. You might get your shoes swamped. All right, ready to keep walking?
Yeah.
The cabin, which actually Julia found, so special thanks to her for finding such an amazing place, is at Whiskey Creek Cabins. It was really cheap for what it is, and let me tell you, it's one of the best places we stayed the entire trip. In addition to getting a much-needed warm shower, the campground we were at the last couple of days did not have showers, so we were quite stinky. And getting to sleep in a nice warm building, I mean, as you saw in the videos, it was right on the beach. It was amazing. Me and Alex spent the rest of the afternoon just exploring the little beach there, seeing all kinds of cool stuff and collecting rocks and shells. Then we retired inside once the lights started to fade and just spent the rest of the evening relaxing, writing, reading, taking our showers. The place had heat, but there was no power, so we had to do everything by old oil lamps, which was just crazy. It was just great. And we had the melodic crashing of the waves in the background. The waves made this like crackling noise as they withdrew because of the rocks rolling around, and it was just great. If I ever go back to this area, I'm not bothering with the camping. I'm just staying here. So anyone watching this, you're looking for someone to stay, this was it. Honestly, this was one of the best parts of our entire trip on the Olympic Peninsula. All right, good morning. We are on our way to North Cascades National Park. So you can see Alex is driving for this leg of the trip. We have about 5,400 miles on the car. Gonna probably add a couple more today. And yeah, should be a nice little drive. Gonna be along the coast. Gonna take a ferry between some islands, which will be pretty cool. And yeah. Our first stop was Port Townsend, a town on the very tip of the Olympic Peninsula where we'd be catching a ferry to go across the bay and continue driving. We got there quite a bit earlier than the ferry, so I decided to go to a local lighthouse. After checking it out, we walked down the beach to an old abandoned fortress. It was built in the early 1900s, probably as coastal defense. There wasn't really any information about it, but it was completely open and abandoned, so we were able to just explore it at our own leisure, which was something really cool. I feel like more often than not nowadays, these places are kind of cordoned off for, I guess safety, but it's very fun to climb around them. After, we returned to the ferry, and unfortunately did not make it on. Pro tip for anyone who might be taking this in the future, get your tickets in advance. We thought it was the kind of thing you just showed up and, they put on. So we figured earlier we get there, the better, but Turns out that's not the way it works. There's a standby line, which we got put in. And on this trip, which was the 2 o'clock trip, nobody from the standby line got on. In fact, not even everyone from the main line got on. So you definitely want to get reservations and get there early if you can. So a little dejected, we had some time, so checked out the stores in Port Townsend. Lots of really cool ones. We had a lot of fun with this Bigfoot cutout, and then went to the top of the hill. The town is built on sort of the side of a hill, so we took a stair street up and got some great views of the bay before heading down about an hour later to get in line for the next ferry. We were a little concerned we wouldn't make it on to the next ferry. This was the last one leaving until around 6 o'clock, and if we didn't make it on this one, we'd have to drive 5 hours around the whole bay to get where we were going. Fortunately, though, we made it on by the skin of our teeth, being the last people allowed on the boat from the standby line. So just barely. Yeah, it was a bit of a close one.
All right, we finally made it on the ferry. It only took us 2 tries. We didn't make it on the original. What time were we in there originally? 3:30? No, this is 3:30. The 2 o'clock one, and we were very convinced we weren't making it on to the 3:30 one. But we went like the last 4 cars to get on, so now we just get to enjoy the cruise. And anything to add, Alex?
They really shouldn't overbook reservations.
Yeah. So we're on a ship called the Kennewick, which is registered to Seattle. It's technically part of the state highway system here, according to Google. We are on State Route 20 on the highway, but we're actually on a boat. We are about getting ready for the ship to land. Gotta head down to the car, but first, Alex is living out one of his dreams. He finally got a ferry hot dog, and he seems to be enjoying it immensely.
Once across the bay, we checked out a state park on the other side of the bay, seeing another lighthouse, this one open, and we were allowed to go up into the tower and get some crazy views of the coastline. There was also another fortress forming a crossfire with the other one. This one was a lot better maintained, had a lot more information, and even had some of the original guns. Like the other one, it was completely open, and we were able to climb all over it, which we had a great time doing. They even let us climb up on the guns, which we found out were much more interesting than initially appeared. The guns are what are referred to as disappearing cannons. They are some of the few remaining left in the world and were state-of-the-art at the time that they were developed. They use the recoil from firing to push them down behind the walls, making reloading easier and also making them invulnerable to attack while they're being reloaded, at least invulnerable to ship bombardment. This kind of fortification and these guns quickly became obsolete once airplanes were developed, only a couple years after they were installed here. In addition to the cool cannons, running around the fortress was just a ton of fun. It had all these really cool dark corridors for us to go through and lots of just very industrial concrete. Honestly, it kind of felt like running around a real-life Death Star. Afterwards, we took one of the passages down to the beach, took a quick walk, and then headed on the road. We were admittedly pretty sad to be leaving the coast, especially at her nice cozy cabin. And we only had 2 full days left with each other, one of which would be occupied by driving to Spokane. So, admittedly a little bit sad, we hit the road for our long stretch to North Cascades National Park.
Fare you well, my dearest dear, since I must leave you, I can no longer stay. I must go from you. Oh, I shall pine and die if you go from me. So stay at home, my dear, and do not leave me.
All right, we are entering North Cascades National Park. This is, I think, National Park number 9 of the trip and our last one in Washington. Very exciting. Have any comments, Alex?
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Less Bigfoot here.
Less Bigfoot. Yeah, it's true. We have seen a markedly less amount of Bigfoot here than we did on the peninsula.
Our sadness at leaving the coast quickly melted away once we entered the national park and feasted our eyes on the majesty of the mountains.
That's so pretty. Holy cow. I don't think it's really coming up on the camera, unfortunately. If there's like a lookout or overview we can pull out and like get a good view of that and stop and take some pictures, we should.
Yeah. That had a nice little rhythm to
Yeah, I did. I thought you were doing that on purpose for a second. Oh my god, look at that. It's just like a stark cliff almost.
it. Yeah. You can see the snow coming down.
Yeah, holy cow, that's so pretty.
You call me a Hindi because holy cow.
Yeah, I'm so glad that that's on camera. And it looks like it's on like when we turn up here, it's gonna be on both sides. It looks like there's like a pass through it. That's insane.
It's menacing.
Yeah, it's like menacing, but it's also beautiful. Oh my god, this is so pure, so beautiful.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, so good morning. We are already on the trail. We're doing Thorston Lakes. We just started. We started this morning with about 56,000 miles on the van. So that's, yeah, where we're at after yesterday. And yeah, this is gonna be about an 11-mile round trip up to the lake. Should be pretty cool. That was an eagle.
Little old man said to the butterfly, how do your wings take you away? But I was sitting in a cocoon underneath the yellow moon in the wintertime. My wound opened up and I started to fly. The wind came from the east, so I flew to the west, and I really don't know why. Lord, I guess I knew that way best. But how does the night turn to day? How does sunshine turn to rain? How come things have to change? It all don't matter anyway.
Good morning. Well, actually afternoon, because I completely forgot to do this morning. Alex is driving. We're about 5,700 miles. We started the morning off by doing the Thunder Knob Trail and then going to the visitor center, and now we are on our way out of the national park to Spokane, where Alex will be flying out tomorrow. So yeah, gonna enjoy our drive. Should be really pretty, nice and rural, not passing too many towns, and maybe stop at some of the overlooks and stuff too.
Started just by doing the Thunder Knob hike, which left directly from the campground we were staying at. It was a good, relatively short hike. I think it was about 4 miles round trip and offered some great views of the lake and surrounding areas. After the hike, we hit the road and started heading out of the park, stopping at a few roadside pull-offs with some nice views and waterfalls and other things on our way out. We both had a heavy heart as we were leaving. The park was far better than either of us could have ever imagined before getting there. And we also knew it was the end of our time together. I know it seems like we didn't talk too much in the videos and stuff, but actually, we're talking so much I forgot to take videos. So knowing Alex would leave the next day really made me a little bummed out, and I'm sure he was as well. We both kind of could feel it in the air as we were driving back. Regardless, we still had a wonderful drive. It was just absolutely beautiful the full way, and we still managed to squeeze in a few more last-minute stops and adventures as we went our way to Spokane.
We're driving over the Diablo Lake Dam right now. We took a wrong turn. I'm pretty sure only like official vehicles are supposed to go down here, but
The gate was open.
the gate was open, and so here we are.
Damn, it's cool little.
Yeah, it's very pretty. The side.
I live my life the way that I want. Some folks
Watch the way, of course.
other folks don't. I believe in heaven. I believe in love. I believe you can't change when it goes. When it's my time, I'm gonna go. There is no reason for me to stay. I did all the dancing could have been done. I would have been gone anyway. It ain't been going this long. Path between right and wrong. But I've been living about to the nail. I walk the high road, giving it hell with. When it's my time, I'm gonna go. There is no reason for me to stay. I did all the damage it could have been done. I would have been gone anyway.
Oh my god, look at those coming around the bend. They're just like spires. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's just like straight up.
There ain't no place I'd rather be than right where I stand between you and me. I can weather
Washington State's truly beautiful.
Yeah. I was gonna say, this is definitely the most beautiful thing. Definitely the prettiest state I've been to on my road trip. This is the most beautiful place I've ever been.
when it's my time. I'm gonna